What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show that still doesn't have a name. Haven't came up with one. Still conjuring that up. If you got an idea, drop it in the comments. Maybe I'll take a look at it. Maybe I'll consider it. We'll see. But first things first, before I get started, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Ring that bell, baby. That way, when I drop a show, that fires up right to your phone, laptop, computer, whatever, iPad, and you're able to not miss a beat, not miss an episode. And you're going to be better at football, fantasy football, or you'll at least be entertained regardless. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's going to help you out a lot. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down if you're not into it. I'm all good with that. It is what it is. I love the criticism anyways. Drop some comments. We're trying to build a community. We can help each other with our fantasy football teams. You guys can help other people with their teams, answer their questions, and I'll do my best to reach out and help you guys out with your start sit questions, your trade offers, or whatnot. But let's dig into this. Right after week 4, it was Sunday night even, I was on social media. I was on Twitter. Of course, it's usually what it always is. It's Twitter. And you can tell, like, the big consumer base of fantasy football, it's a lot newer now. We have more people in the space, more people playing, which is great. But we have people now playing that are a little more, let's say, on edge when something happens, or a little bit more willing to put the cart before the horse, or less patience. They just don't have that experience of waiting things out, or knowing that players go through peaks and valleys. And we saw that a lot, or we're still seeing that with DJ Moore. DJ Moore is a stud wide receiver prospect, high-end production coming out of Maryland with a 53.3% dominator rating, good size, 6 foot, 210 pounds, athleticism, and then has been transitioning pretty well to the NFL over the last couple of years. Production has been steadily going up, and then this year's kind of hit a little bit of a wall, a little bit of a snag. We're only 4 weeks into the season, though. Think about it on that perspective. So DJ Moore has hit this little wall a couple weeks in, and now the sky's falling. Everything's going haywire. People are worried. They want to sell him. They're thinking he's a bust. He's not worth it. Mind you, we're 4 weeks into the season. Another thing you want to think about, these players, when they're going through their career trajectory, their career arc, they're not going to consistently move up. It's not finite like that. You're not going to consistently... Their career is going to be like... Hopefully it's going up the whole way, but there's going to be peaks. There's going to be valleys. There's going to be dips. There's going to be ups. It's just like the stock market. That's why people make stock comparisons. And when you have a player you like DJ Moore, who's a good prospect, good offense, he's only 23 years old, and his stock's going up, and then all of a sudden it's week 4 of the fantasy football season, and you see that dip, that is a buying opportunity. That's when you want to get in when the getting is good. And then when we look, there are other indicators that are telling us that DJ Moore's a massive buy right now, even though he's not producing. Right now in the season, he's wide receiver 32. So wide receiver 3-ish, low end. He had only one wide receiver 1 week, and then rest of them, wide receiver 49, wide receiver 55, and wide receiver 50. So very low production for what we've been expecting and for what a lot of people's paid for him. And this goes for Dynasty, redraft, and then a lot of DFS weeks because he only hit on 1 week this year. Not good, but we can play off this. We can make this work to our advantage. We have a young wide receiver who is very productive out of college, who's been ascending throughout his career, and now he's hit a little bit of a wall, hit a little bit of a slump. However, we have some indicators showing him that he is still a key focal point of the offense, and he still has the opportunity to come back and could come back in a massive way. First off, he is 8th in the league, or 8th among all wide receivers in weighted opportunity rating. He has 403 air yards on the season, which I believe is top 10 or close to that, and a 23% target share. So he's owning a large portion of the targets, he's getting the air yards, and he's getting the opportunity to be successful. What's hurting him is just bad variance right now. Robbie Anderson's also on the team. He's taking a portion of that target share, but not enough for him to not be productive. Robbie Anderson's a good wide receiver. DJ Moore's also a good wide receiver. They are not set up right now for Robbie Anderson to be the clear-cut wide receiver 1 and DJ Moore to be the wide receiver 2. It's not the pecking order like that. If anything, they're going on the field with 2 very, very, very good wide receivers. Teddy Bridgewater steps back. He's looking to see who he's throwing to. Strikes at whoever's open. Robbie Anderson, he is a speedster as well. He can stretch it downfield. He has more size. They've also been using him more in the short to intermediate parts of the field, along with the deep stuff as well. So he's been getting a little bit more of those targets, a little bit of those targets that are easier to complete, where DJ Moore's been getting a lot of higher acuity targets. Harder to make, harder to convert. However, DJ Moore, from a workload scenario, it's not that bad. If anything, when you look at workload and not production, you would expect at least a wide receiver 2 there, if not higher. The schedule going forward is not bad. They got the NFC South. They got a game against the Chiefs. They have a few matchups that may be skeptical, but as we get further into the season, especially with this being 2020, we got guys dropping left and right with COVID. Injuries are pretty bad this year, especially to key players. We could see some big shifts with defenses, teams, matchups going forward. So what may look like a bad matchup right here going into week 5 could be a promising matchup going into week 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's just something you got to think about. But most of these matchups going forward are going to be very promising. They're going to be plus matchups. So what I'm seeing here is this is a guy, DJ Moore, that I'm going to be chasing every single week in DFS. He's going to be priced lower every week until he hits, until he booms. And he's going to have a boom week. I don't know when it is. It could be this week, week 5. It could be later on down the road, maybe against the Chiefs. Who knows? But it's going to happen because he's consistently getting that workload. He's consistently getting targets. He's consistently getting air yards. He's getting targeted downfield. All he has to do is reel in 1 or 2 of those in the game, and boom. That's a big, big game. So DFS, I am trying to get him in lineups every single week. Redraft. I know redraft is very, very short term, and you need to be on the money right now because it is a fast track to the playoffs. You only have a short window in time to win. But this is a good buy low right now because this is a player that could hit because he's getting the opportunities, getting the targets. He's got a fair schedule. If something happens to Robbie Anderson, he's going to get like 5% more targets guaranteed, and he's getting air yards, and you're going to get him on the cheap. You could flip him for like a running back off your bench and probably get him right now. You're talking a wide receiver has produced a 49 wide receiver week, wide receiver 55 week, and wide receiver 50 week. His owner is probably, or his manager per se, be more politically correct, is more likely to ship him off right now than it is if he has a blow-up game week 5, 6, or 7. So if you're going to do it now. Dynasty, you need to kick the tires on DJ Moore. He was pushing to be a first-round pick going into the season. Now those owners are starting to have buyer's remorse. You got to capitalize on that. You're going to get decent value for him, and he's a young wide receiver. He's 23 years old. He's very athletic. He's on a good team. He's on a team that's going to need to push the offense for a while because they were rebuilding. And he's highly targeted. He can be a deep threat. He can be a yards after the catch guy. No matter who he's playing for or who's his coach, he's good enough to be a key part of the offense. He's a safe buy, and then you want to buy that dip. Dynasty's where he's the biggest buy right now. The dip's lower. People are freaking out because we got a lot of people who view fantasy football in the short term. And this is a long-term game. He's 23, so we give him 24-year-old season. When he's 25, 26, 27, start thinking there. 28, 29. We got a lot of years there. This is a highly productive prospect, highly athletic. A lot of upside here. He's going to hold a lot of value on your roster. I can't see him falling further in value from here because he's getting that workload, those targets, and that's going to maintain that value. It makes him a safe asset to acquire. If you can get him for a 2021 first-round pick and maybe a little extra, hopefully a little bit extra. I don't think anyone was selling him that low, but there could be because just gauging the raw emotion of people being frustrated on Twitter and social media, it's not looking good, and all leagues are different. You've got to kick the tires. You can at least start there, work your way up. Maybe a first and an older running back or some older players. You're just going to have to be creative with it and see what you can. Every owner is different, especially in this day and age. It's not consensus. People think more on the short term. So that person who owns DJ Moore, they might be set up to win the league, and they need a couple pieces. And those couple pieces you have on your roster, you don't want them anyways because they're older, but they can help that guy. And you want that DJ Moore for 2022, 2023, 24 seasons and onward. DJ Moore can light a spark week 5 going forward. And you don't want to miss out on that. Even if he just provides this amount of production, which I don't think so. I think this is going to at least increase to the mean, to his average, which could be wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 results, which means he's going to have to produce some wide receiver 1 games to get there. And I think that is highly likely. 23% target share, 403 air yards on the season, and 8th in the league among wide receivers in weighted opportunity rating. The workload's there. Nothing's really going to stop him from producing once things start clicking. And things are going to start clicking sooner than later. There's no way, unless he gets injured, he falls off. Even if he gets injured, that's going to cause him to dip a little bit more, which means you're going to buy more shares because he's going to come back and be solid. So there's no loss here really. Redraft maybe, but he's at such a cheap price tag that there's nothing really to lose either. There's a lot of upside with DJ Moore. He's a safe buy in all formats. And then the move to make is chase him hard in DFS. Make sure he's in a lot of lineups. He's going to be in a lot of plus matchups going forward. So make sure you have him in lineups every single week until he's priced too high, which may not happen. Even if he's pulling goose eggs or pulling wide receiver 50s still for the next couple weeks, still put him in lineups. As long as he's seeing these targets, these air yards, he's going to provide opportunity. That weighted opportunity rating provides opportunity for us. He's providing opportunity for us to have a big week. He is highly likely to have a big week soon. So if you're too scared to buy him in redraft and you play DFS and you like tournaments, he is a guy you want to add. That's all I got on DJ Moore right now. I want to thank you guys for listening or watching the show. If you've listened this far, you must have enjoyed yourself. It must have kept you entertained enough at least. Might as well drop that subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell so you can get that notification. Because I'm going to keep dropping episodes. And you don't want to miss one. The more subscribers I get, the more views I start getting, the more upgrading I want to do. Better cameras, better this, better that. Just the farther I get, the more worth it is going to be for me. So make sure you help me out. Hit that subscribe button. Drop some comments. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Thank you guys for listening. I'm out, and I'll catch you next time.